Hey everyone, welcome to MOVFX, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you guys how to create this type of awesome looking slideshow animation by using BlackMagic Fusion. So let's have a look. Okay, so let me tell you guys, this tutorial is inspired by one of the video hype template and I have given a link in the description for that template, so please check this out. And without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first of all we have to take a new composition, so go to file menu and click on new and take a new composition and close the previous composition. Okay, now check this composition settings, so go to file menu and click on preferences and click on frame format, and this composition is 1920 into 1080 and 30 frames per second, so it's good for now, and click on save. Okay, now convert this composition into 180 frame, which is equal to 6 seconds, so put the value 180 and hit enter. Now let's import an image file, so go to folder and this is our image. Let me tell you guys, this image is downloaded from pixabay.com and I have given a link in the description for this image, so download this image and drag and drop to the flow window. And now drag this image to the viewer and click on fit and click on window layout 1 for single view and increase the size of this preview window. Okay, now right click on flow window and go to arrange tool and check this box to turn on the grid snap. Okay, now select this image and press shift plus a spacebar for search box and search for crop node. So this is our crop node, click on OK and drag it to the viewer. Now just flip this image, so select this crop node and click on XF and take a transform node and drag this transform to the viewer, and here is flip vertically, so check this and double click on this crop node and here is keep centered option, so check this box. Okay, now select this node and place it over here. Now we have to import a texture file, so go to folder and this is our cubic alpha texture file which I have created in Photoshop, and the link given in the description, so download this texture and drag and drop to the flow window. Okay, now merge this image with our texture, so take a merge node and connect this yellow point to this transform and green point to this cubic alpha and drag it to the viewer, and select this merge node and come to properties window. Here is blend option, so put the value 0.15 and hit enter. Okay, it's looking something like this, and take another texture file, so go to folder and this is our cubic lines and a link given in the description, so download this and drag and drop to the flow window. Now take another merge and connect this yellow point to this merge one and green point to this cubic alpha and drag it to the viewer. Select this merge and come to this properties window, and here is apply mode, so apply mode to multiply. Okay, it's looking something like this, and double click on flow window and take a rectangle mask and rename this mask by pressing F2 and rename it to pass and hit enter. And connect this pass to this merge 2. Okay, and now set this mask something like this and drag it over here and go to frame number 30, right click on center, click on animate and go to frame approx 180 and drag this rectangle mask over here. Okay, and now increase the softness of this edge, so increase the value of this slider like this. Okay, so it's looking something like this. Okay, now select all these nodes and go to tool menu and go to flow and click on underlay and press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this, rename it to image and hit enter. Right click again, set a color of this tile like this, click on OK. Okay, now we have to take a transform node, so click on XF and take a transform and rename this transform by pressing F2 and rename it to scale. connect the output of this merge to this scale and drag this to the viewer. Okay, and double click on this scale and increase the size of this scale like 1.05. Now select this scale and go to tool menu and take a color corrector node. So go to color and this is our color corrector and drag this color corrector to the viewer, and here is master saturation, so decrease the saturation value and make this value 0. Okay, now go to level tab and select this blue channel and set this blue channel, click on fit. Okay, select green and okay, it's looking nice. And come to color tab, select this RGB and here is master RGB contrast, so put the value 1.2 and hit enter. Okay, now take a text plus node, so click on this text plus button here and merge this text with our color corrector. So take a merge node and connect this yellow point to this color corrector and green point to this text and drag this merge 3 to the viewer. Okay, so select this text and type a text like type anything whatever you want to type. Okay, fashion. So let's change this font style to Century Gothic. So here is Century Gothic font style and increase the size of this. Go to frame 0 and set the size something like this and right click on this size and click on animate and go to frame approx 120 and set the size of this text like this. Okay, so it's looking something like this. Now select this merge 3 and come to properties and here is blend option, so set this value 0.35 and hit enter. Okay, it's looking something like this. Okay, now we have to create a matte, so take a background node, so click on BG button, rename this background to matte and hit enter. Okay, now double click on flow window and take a polygon tool, click on this option here, polygon, and take a polygon, rename this polygon to P1, so press F2 and rename it to P1. Okay, so full screen this preview window by pressing F4 and click on fit and create a shape something like okay. Now press F4 to exit and connect this P1 to this matte and drag this matte to the viewer. Now go to a spline window and here is P1, so check this P1 and here is keyframe, so move this keyframe to frame number 120. Okay, now come to flow window and go to frame 0 and select these two control points and press shift and arrow key and move this control point something like this and select these two control point also and move this. Okay, now last one, so select this. Okay, so it's looking something like this. Okay, now go to spline window, press F4 on the keyboard, click on this option here, select these keyframes, press F for flatten and drag this handle and make the curve something like this. Okay, now press F4 to exit and go to flow window and now check this. Okay, it's looking something like this. Okay, Now we have to take another background node, so click on BG button again, rename this background to matte 2 and hit enter. Now double click on flow window and take another polygon tool and rename this polygon to P2 and hit enter, and make a shape something like this. Okay, now go to spline window, click on this one option here and click on this, check this P2 and here is keyframes, so select this keyframe and move it on frame number 120 by pressing arrow key. Okay, and then go to flow window and go to frame number 0 and select these control points and move this by pressing shift and arrow key. Select these two control points also and move it something like this. Now last one. Okay, now connect this P2 with matte 2. Okay, now it's looking something like this, and again go to a spline window, press F4 and click on this option here and check this P2 and select these keyframes, press F for flatten and drag this handle and make the curve like this. Okay, and press F4 again to exit and go to flow window, and now play this animation. So it's looking something like this. Okay, now place this P2 here. Okay, now select this and press Ctrl C to copy and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. Okay, now rename this node, so select this and press F2 and rename it to P1_B. Okay, now select this also, press Ctrl C to copy and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. Select this and press F2 and rename it to P2_B and click on OK. Now select this matte, pick a color white and pick a color white also for this matte. Okay, now take a merge node, so click on this merge button, place it over here and connect this yellow point to this matte and green point to this merge 3. Okay, now drag it to the viewer and select this merge 4 and go to operator option and change this over to in, and take another merge by clicking on merge button. Connect this yellow point to this matte 1 and green point to this and drag it to the viewer. Now same thing for this one, so take a merge node, connect this yellow point to this matte and green point to this output of this merge 3. Select this merge 6, go to operator option, change this over to in and take another merge by clicking on merge button. Connect this yellow point to this and green point to this and drag it to the viewer. Okay, now select this polygon P1 and go to properties, and here is border width, so put the value -0.001 and here is soft edge, so put the value 0.003 and hit enter. So it's looking something like this. Okay, for same thing for P2, so select this P2 and here is border width, so put the value -0.001 and put the value in soft edge 0.003 and drag this merge 7 to the viewer. Okay, now select this merge 5 and press shift plus space bar for search box and search for shadow node. So this is our shadow node, click on OK and drag it to the viewer, and go to properties of this shadow node and increase the softness value something like 0.05. okay, and go to this option here, and here is blend option, so put the value 0.7. okay, and now duplicate this shadow, so select this shadow node, press Ctrl C and paste it by pressing Ctrl V, and attach this shadow with merge 7. so okay, now select these nodes, go to tool menu, flow, click on underlay, press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this and rename it to M1, and right click again, set a color. okay, now select this one, go to tool menu, flow, underlay, press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this and rename it to M2, and right click again, set a color of this tile. okay, now increase the size of this flow window and take a merge node. So connect this green point to this and yellow point to this shadow and drag this to the viewer. okay, now select this M1 and press Ctrl C to copy and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. okay, now rename these polygons, so select this and press F2 and rename it to P3. okay, and select this one and press F2, rename it to P3 underscore B. okay, now select M2 and press Ctrl C and paste it by pressing Ctrl V. okay, now rename this also, so select this one, press F2 and rename it to P4, and select this and press F2 and rename to P4 underscore B. okay, now press F4 and now rename this also, so select this one and press F2 and rename it to M3, and select this one, press Ctrl and deselect these nodes, right click on this, rename it to M4. now connect this green point of this merge 4 to this. okay, now press Alt and create a junction and connect this green point to this. okay, now take a merge node, connect this green point to this and yellow point to this. okay, now press F4 and drag it to the viewer. Now it's looking something like this. Now take a merge node again, so click on merge button and connect this yellow point to this merge 8 and green point to this merge 9 and drag this merge to the viewer. okay, now select these 4 nodes and move it like this. Select these 4 nodes and move this. okay, now select this mat and click on XF and select this mat also, click on XF, select this mat too. okay, now select this transform 2 and check this flip horizontally. Select this transform 2 and check this box flip horizontally. Select this one and select this transform 5 and check this box flip horizontally. okay, now it's looking something like this. Now click on this spline window, press F4. okay, and uncheck this P2. Now off this one node and check this P3, P3B, P4, P4B and P4. Check these 4 nodes. Select all these keyframes, press shift and arrow key and move all the keyframe on frame number 10. Okay. Now press F4 to exit and go to flow window. Now check this. Okay, so it's looking something like this. Now we have to take a transform node, so select this merge 10 and click on this XF and add a transform. Okay, select this transform, press F2 and rename it to final move and click on OK and drag this move to the viewer and go to frame 180. Right click on size, click on animate and right click on center and click on animate and go to frame 0 and increase the size of this like 1.3. okay, and drag this. Okay, now it's okay, it's looking something like this. Okay, now add a text over here. So click on BG button and rename it to box and pick a color like this. Okay, and select this box and add a rectangle tool and create a box something like this. Okay, now take a text plus node and type a text whatever you want to type, but I'm typing fashion slideshow. Okay, select this text, right click on this and click on character label styling, go to modifiers, expand this option and merge this text with our box. So take a merge node, connect this box and drag this to the viewer. Now select this text, click on this option here, select all this text and change the font style to Century Gothic and select this fashion, go to modifier and change bold to regular and increase the size of this and select slideshow, increase the size of this also, select all this text. Okay, and set this text something like this, go to alignment and set. Okay, select this text and drag it over here and connect this text here. So take another merge, disconnect this point and connect this to yellow point and connect this green point to this and drag this to the viewer. Select this merge and set the size of this text. Okay, go to frame 180, right click on size, click on animate and right click on center and click on animate. Okay, and go to frame 0 and increase the size of this text something like this and move this. Okay, now connect this yellow point to this merge 12. Okay, and drag this final move to the viewer and check this. Okay, so it's looking something like this. Okay, now go to spline window, press F4 for full screen and click on this option 1. Okay, and select this final move and click on this option. Select this keyframe, press F for flatten and drag this handle and make the curve something like this. Okay, now check this size and click on this option, select these keyframes, press F for flatten and move the handle and make the curve something like this. Okay, now uncheck this and select this merge 12, expand this, click on this option here, select these both keyframes, press F and make the curve like this. Now check this size and select this one, press F and create a curve something like this. Okay, now uncheck this and select this text, click on this option here, select the keyframes, press F on the keyboard, flatten and make the curve something like this, and press F4 to exit and go to flow window. Okay, so it's almost done, so let's check this. Okay, so it's looking something like this, and by using this technique I have already created 4 different slideshows. So let's import it and create a final composition. So go to file menu and click on open, and here is fashion slideshow 2. Okay, so turn on proxy, and so this is the second one, and now import third. So this is a third. Okay, so this is the third one. Now open last composition. So this is our fashion slideshow 4 composition. Open this. Okay, so first, second, third and fourth. Okay, now we have to take a new composition. So go to file menu and take a new composition and click on window layout 1 for single view, and increase the size of this flow window, and click on this composition 1 and select all these nodes, press Ctrl C to copy and go to composition 2 and paste it by pressing Ctrl V, and press Ctrl G to group. Okay, so right click on flow window, go to arrange tool and check this box, press F2 and rename this group to G1. Okay, now close this composition 1 and click on this composition 2, select all these nodes, press Ctrl C to copy and go to final composition and paste it, and press Ctrl G to group. Okay, so this one is second group, so press F2 and rename it to G2 and close fashion slideshow 2. Now open third one, select all these nodes, press Ctrl C and go to final composition and paste this composition by pressing Ctrl V, and press Ctrl and G to group and rename this group by pressing F2 and rename it to G3 and hit enter. Okay, now close this fashion slideshow 3 and open this fashion slideshow 4, select all these nodes, press Ctrl C to copy, go to final composition, paste it by pressing Ctrl V and press Ctrl G to group and rename this group to G4 and hit enter. Okay, so this is our 4 groups, and close this fashion slideshow 4. Now let's take a background node, so click on BG button, rename this background to blue drag it to the viewer and pick a color, something like this, and click on OK. Click on fit. Now take a merge node and connect this yellow point to this blue node and green point to this group 1, and take another merge. Connect this yellow point to this merge 13 and green point to this group 2. Take another merge. Connect this yellow point to this merge 14 and green point to this. And now take a last merge and connect this yellow point to this and green point to this and drag it to the viewer. Now turn on proxy 1/4. Okay. And go to timeline window. Select this group 2 and drag this layer by holding left mouse button and place it on frame number 150. Now select G3 group 3 and set this CTI on frame number 300 and select this group 3 and drag this group 3 on frame number 300. Okay, now same thing for group 4. So forward this CTI on frame number 450. Select this group 4, drag this okay, go to flow window. Okay, now check this. Okay. After that, let's create an aspect ratio. So take a background node by clicking on BG button and rename it to black. Okay, and click on OK. Select this black and here is a rectangle mask. So click on this option and set this mask something like this. Okay, now place it over here. So let's merge this. So take a merge node, connect this green point to this black and yellow point to this and drag it to the viewer. Now select this rectangle and click on this invert option. Okay, so it's done, and let's check this animation.